So the movie Major Deal, I want to know what each one of you guys' major deal, first major deal was in the industry.
Oh, that's the week for a loop. I had, I guess, depending on what kind of music, entertainment, of course.
Well, your first big
not
break,
drugs.
your first major
Right,
deal
okay.
where you got
Legal major deal.
a check cut majorly.
Oh, a check cut, that's legal. Christmas Rapping.
Christmas.
1979, I had a record called Christmas Rapping. And it came out, we had it on the shelf before Rapper's Delight. And it came out, yeah, and I got on the plane, I remember it was hot in Amsterdam. Not Amsterdam either, like Amsterdam, like I never been nowhere, I went to Amsterdam. They called me Mr. Simmons. I remember what they asked me too, they said, well, what would you like? I remember the thought, I must have blown up, like, what would I like Mr. Simmons, they said. Like I was like, fucked up, what would you like Mr. Simmons? I said, cocaine and pussy. And then the president of the record company said, no problem. So that was a big deal to me at the time. It kind of blew my mind. Like I was, you know what I mean? Excuse my language, I'm just saying that's what I said. That was my first major deal, Christmas Rapping. It was 1979.
Oh, and what about you?
My first major deal was August 2014 when I signed off Def Digital, and that was August 2016. This
How
comes
you feel?
out
How you feel?
2 years later. It's crazy. Beautiful.
All right, and what about yourself?
Yeah, I think the same thing. Although, the first time I saw some real money was when I started on social media, and I was like, yo, I can get paid for doing this. So it was the first time I thought, well, like, no more struggling actress. This is me taking control of my own career. But as an actress who got into social media just as a platform, now taking it to the next level, I can honestly say that Major Deal is the thing that I'm most excited about in my career thus far.
Okay.
I would say from a spiritual standpoint, it's important to note that each new deal is the next phase. I mean, in other words, it's only in your head which one is major and not, which inspires you, which thing has happened. And they keep coming, like he said when he first signed, but then again, the movie Major Deal is his first major deal. And for me, being part of a platform that inspires or gives opportunity to producers and directors and writers and, and young talent like this, watching this happen, this is like a whole new rebirth for me. It's inspiring and it's new and it's like a new, whole new frontier.
Right.
So it's like reliving it. If you're awake and you see what's going on in front of you, then you're reliving them. And there's so many experiences each of us have, and I think when people let the world judge what's major and what's not, then they kind of miss out on the beauty of life. So what she just said, and what he said, we all have to try to define it for you, and me talking about going to Amsterdam, but the truth is, every day we're reborn, when we have a chance. And so that's what this is for me. Like, Major Deal is the beginning of a whole new industry, a whole new world, right?
Okay, so do you relate to your character in any way?
Yes,
It's trying to make it in the industry.
Yes, because in this industry, finally now I feel like I'm starting to veer the corner. People starting to finally be like, okay, he might be here to stay. But I was on the come up. I was going an uphill battle the whole way. And everybody. It took all the digital Kevin Fredericks to believe in me and things like that. But my whole fight is Mike Massacre. My whole fight, my whole existence in being in Hollywood is Mike Massacre. That's why I take the role so to heart, because this is me. This is every struggling actor, every struggling comedian, every struggling everything. So I always tell people all the time, before he was Diddy, he had to be Sean Combs. So
Before he was Sean Combs, he was the kick around intern. I know that. I mean,
they got stories like that. That's worth $700 million. This stories that he has about it.
Right, he could buy and sell me, but he was just Sean Combs. It wasn't even Sean Combs, like
Sean-
Puffy, Puff go to the store, Puff, whatever. And now he's Sean P. Diddy, every name.
So you feel like that's what you gotta do, to make you gotta put in there
Well, I don't
work.
think make it is, again, his struggle for him. I remember when he was on the Stairmaster next to me, and I was like, you can't possibly beat me on the stage. I do this every day. He's like, no, I'm gonna beat you. He had never been on it. And after 5 minutes, he's sweating like a slave. I remember him pushing through. And like after an hour, I'm like, I quit, man. I'll fix your Volkswagen. Because I told him I'd fix his car. That's that resilience. But even then, winning that was a big deal for him, as much as selling, a piece of Ciroc to somebody for, hundreds of millions of dollars. So it's really relative, and that's why I go back to that same statement. And this Major Deal being number 4 right up on top of Jason Bourne, which is number 5 in the pre-orders. And what's number 3?
Number 3 is Civil War, Captain America. Number 2 is Jungle Book, and number 1 is Suicide Squad. So there's a lot of movies that put $200 million into it, but this movie is homegrown, home talent, is number 4 on pre-orders. And the thing about it is, we didn't go to the outside for nobody. Everybody that's in the movie that's cast are his family. The funding came from all their digital. The writer director is Kevin Fredericks, who you can see his office downstairs. Patrick Cloud is downstairs. Allie is downstairs. Cassandra is downstairs. Everybody, all 50 people will be here Monday through Friday. Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing. It's all a family-made movie that we all put our heart and
nobody in white Hollywood told us what we could do or not do.
Yeah.
And we didn't nobody in black Hollywood in charge of nothing, so nobody told us what we couldn't do. And that to me is an accomplishment, it's the beginning of a chance, like what Simone said about taking control of her career and going direct to the consumer. Like all that acting, begging somebody, she said, let me just do it myself. And she proved, now they call her to get roles and she's busy doing social media stuff, making more money than playing in some of their roles, you know. And him, he didn't even ever have to beg them for nothing. I'm not saying them in a bad way. I'm saying their lack of inclusivity is just a natural thing for them. It's not racist, it's just insensitive or wrong-headed. They just don't culturally have the insight to make a movie like this for the kind of budget we made it for and for the kind of hustle and love that we put into it. So I think it's beautiful that we're starting this whole new journey, which will allow a lot of young, talented writers, directors, actors, you know, to really express themselves.
And this is groundbreaking because this is all social media talent, you know, and this is like the comedy back in the 90s, how like, you know, that birth, the Chris Tuckers and all this. This movie will birth stars.
A generation of stars.
And not just actors. Like,
yeah, that's how Eddie Murphy did it. You know, with Coming to America, all those people that were in it.
Exactly.
You know, I feel that.
And that's how I feel. And I feel like it's not going to just both actors. I feel like you're going to finally see that Kevin Fredericks is a beast writer. Right? You never even knew that. But you know, you're finally going to see it.
You got to give them an opportunity. A lot of these young people, you know, are suppressed in some ways because, again, the lack of insight when part of Hollywood leaves them struggling. And hopefully, like, we can continue to underwrite and support the development of these talented people.
Okay, so when you're pushing through and trying to make it, what do you feel like? Was there any point that you want to give up, and how did you overcome it? And that's for everybody.
I mean, listen, you gotta have a heart of a lion. You may have some days where you get down and you need to take a seat or take it a little bit slower. But I don't know about them, and they're men who I look up to, both of them. So I'm gonna just say, from my standpoint, I don't never want to quit. You won't never catch me wanting to quit, and that's why I feel like people who have the spirit of, you know, of kings and of, you know, that lion, that fight in them, will always excel over other people, even if they're not as talented, because they will not give up and they believe in themselves first.
I'm very fortunate to work with these two people, and this movie is a great expression from them. And so, I mean, I wait for people to see it and talk about it. I got nothing but good reviews so far, but I'm excited about bringing it to the market. And I'm excited about all the new distribution that's going to be supported, you know, rather than just going the same old route. I think it's, you know, a really groundbreaking idea.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I love the movie, and I look forward to, you know, putting it out there and getting more exposure for it. So
Thank you.
Thank you. So I love the movie. Yes. And one thing I want to know is the major deal. What was your first major deal?
Wow. In life?
Yeah, what do you feel was your first major deal? Your first major breakthrough in the industry?
Oh, in the industry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That is such a good question.
Whoa.
That's a great question.
Man.
Well, for me, I'll start
There
us
you go.
off,
Go,
right?
I'm
So
gonna think.
I was brought onto this project, kind of like, they started it up and they were like, Allie, you have a notebook, you look organized. Great, join us. I'm like, cool. So the movie was an amazing process, but specifically we do a music video within it, and that was kind of like my baby. So like for me, that was like very proud moment. It's called Henny Dick, right? So I called Grandma, and I'm like, Grandma, you never believe what I was like. I'm producing. I'm the one. I'm responsible for this music video. Like, if there's troubles, good stuff, bad stuff, like, I'm the person. So to me, that was like the first time I felt it. So that was this year, and like, you're the person. Things are gonna happen, and your name's assigned to it. So luckily, it worked out though. So that was a major deal for me.
Awesome.
I think for me, it was probably producing my own movie the year prior. And the reason I'll say that is because if I didn't produce that movie, I would have not felt comfortable doing this. Like when Russell was like, all right, here's the money, don't mess it up. You want to feel confident that you can do that. And I'm a really confident person, but I would not have felt confident doing this. So industry-wise, it's this. But before that, it was me doing my own movie to prepare me for this.
And how did you get that?
I actually raised the money on Indiegogo, like crowdfunding, like, yo, help your boy with $1, $5, like that type of stuff. And making that movie with like $15,000 helped prepare me to make this movie for much more, but not as much as usual movies are made for. So
I would say my first big break was I worked for this website called Hip Hop Official, and they funded my first ever independent music video. I used to do music videos, and I directed my first ever music video for an artist called Jason Madison. Shout out Jason, I still see you out there doing your thing, boy. And that was my first kind of like break into the industry, I guess. My first break in life was when I got cut from my varsity football team because I felt like I was going to the league, and like that made me just kind of readjust my life, and you know what I'm saying? And then I realized what my true passion was, and it was to make movies, to be a filmmaker, you know what I mean? So like shout out to Coach Dixon for cutting me. Shout outs on shout outs.
That's what's up. You made a way or no way. Okay. So does any part as a writer of this film, does it highlight your real life at some point?
Probably just not the cussing for sure, but believing in yourself and having a dream. You know, I don't really say I'd have anybody doubting me like Mike Massacre has, but feeling like you're alone trying to make it in the world. Like moving to LA, John's from here, but Ali and I moved here. Moving to LA is like a very difficult place to make it in, right? So having the dream of wanting to be an entertainer, wanting to make movies, that part is definitely synonymous with my life.
And so one of the themes of the movie was, you're 30, you're pushing on 30, you need to give this up. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about stuff like that?
Being 33, I feel like you have to enjoy the journey. Like I love the stories of like Sam Jackson and Morgan Freeman not getting their first break till they're like closer to 50, you know, and then they go on to work for like 30, 40 years. And for me, it's about enjoying the journey. Like a lot of times after this comes out, people be like, oh man, they were an overnight success. And like, we've been doing this work for a long time. So you work really hard for a long time for somebody to call you an overnight success. So success comes in waves. You know, there's no true destination point for me. It's just enjoying the ride as you go along.
And one of the, you want to touch on that?
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, I agree. I would rather get my success later in life because then I'm not naive to what to do with it. You know what I mean? I feel like people who get success early, a lot of times, like, you know, you blow through it, you know, they say 15 minutes sometimes, you know what I mean? That's what it is. Yeah. And, you know, some people are blessed to live lifetime of success, and some people only get that one moment. And I wouldn't want to get that one moment too young, because then you waste it, you know what I mean? You got a whole life that you're chasing this one moment that you had. So, you know, I'd rather, me being 29, I would much rather my success come later and be able to enjoy it longer.
And so why should people go see this movie? And how can they go see it?
You can go watch it on majordealmovie.com, and it's also going to be available on iTunes. And they should just go see it because it's good. Like, I don't want to say, like, although we're black and Ali is our sister, I don't want to say go support black filmmakers, you know, but you should. But I want you to go watch it because it's a good movie, and people should go watch good movies.
Awesome.
It'll leave you laughing, like, I don't know about crying, maybe.
What was one of your favorite points in the movie? Like, or favorite times filming? I know your music video part, but.
Yes, I mean, right, I was gonna say that. I watch it and I look at, let's say, we filmed in Santa Monica, and it like is very like, when I watch that, I'm like, oh, that's when we were filming and we were on set, and it felt like summer camp because we had Tasha, shout out to Tasha, right? Our caterer, she packed us with juice boxes and cookies, and like we're all hanging out at the beach. I mean, and we're just like in good company, enjoying what we do. It's truly like summer camp.
Yes, sometime.
Awesome,
All right,
thank
so
you.
much.
Hey fam, I need you to come listen to my mixtape right now.
He called you back as a selling.
Meet Mike, a man with major dreams. A daughter he'd do anything for. And a baby mama he'd do anything to get away from.
Where's my raggedy $200?
Determined to make it big in the rap game, he has just one major problem.
You can't rap. You still trying to do that rap stuff? Just another rapper rapping about shit he don't have.
This trash! Kill yourself! Sorry, I don't give any money to the homeless. So you Zac Efron?
No one believes he can.
I'm a real.
Why do you even produce it?
That's my boy. I can't just tell him he trash.
If I don't sign a major deal by my 30th birthday, I'll get a regular job.
How the hell you gonna get signed? You ain't never met anybody in the industry.
A subpoena?
For a child support hearing.
I told you, if we received another complaint, we're gonna have to let you go.
I'm about to put you on the stage.
All Def Digital presents King Keraun as Mike Massacre in a hilarious new comedy about chasing your dream.
Oh, I'll buy your mixtape. But you gonna have to hit this.
Mike has got to find a major deal.